So Hannity has a plan. He's a man with a plan. It's not Trump's magic plan where everything would be beautiful and fine and none of this would have ever happened and ever it wouldn't have happened. No, this is Hannity calls for Russian army to turn on tiny tyrant Vladimir Putin. So we will some tough talk from Sean Hannity. Sanctions slam Russians' economy. I'm sorry? Sanctions slam Russians' economy. Oh, you mean those pathetic sanctions that Joe Biden put on? Pitiful. You think you guys were just telling me 2 days ago he didn't give a shit.
This is really important, so I need you to pay attention.
Oh, sorry, that's not his voice. This is. Hold on.
All eyes are on Ukraine as a bloody new chapter of war appears to be unfolding right before our very eyes. Now,
yes, a bloody new chapter is a-folding. I think it's you take the G off and put an apostrophe. It's a-folding. A bloody new chapter's a-folding in Kiev tonight.
Civilians are directly in Russia's crosshairs. Now, for quite some time, I've been very critical of Ukraine's government and rampant corruption in the country. And by government,
yeah, and I really didn't give a shit about them. And I was like, yeah, serve them up, put a Putin gun to their head if it helps Trump stay in office. And I've said for a long time that these people probably deserve whatever they're getting.
Officials.
And
now the military and President Zelensky and ordinary Ukrainians, they are fighting valiantly against an all-out invasion from its...
Yes, much like they did on a smaller scale when they were fighting back, when Zelensky was fighting back against his country being blackmailed and extorted by Donald Trump to get him to do a public bullshit, we're having an investigation blab fest. Yeah, like that.
Hostile neighbor to the north. Sadly, innocent men, women, children, they're dying at the hands of a tiny tyrant named Vladimir Putin. Look at this.
Yeah, that their neighbor to the west. It's a neighbor. It's just their
year-old little girl was mortally wounded.
Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Fuck you. No, I'm not gonna let this asshole play this fucking footage. Jesus. Dude, what the fuck? He's playing it again. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck? What a... Hannity, fuck you, you ghoul. Hold on, Jesus.
Now, the medical personnel, as you can see in that video, as they resuscitate or try to
fuck you. I'm sorry, who am I supposed to be listening to? You or the dude you were texting on January 6th, friend? Because you're fucking two degrees away from this asshole. Literally. On a phone tree, there's a speed dial for both of you on one guy's phone.
This girl and revive this girl. They're crying. Vladimir Putin killed that 6-year-old girl. Vladimir Putin started this war. Vladimir Putin is a murdering thug who's willing to...
One moment. Fox News host Sean Hannity praised President Trump's performance at a controversial news conference with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday, saying the U.S. leader was very strong. The Fox News host, a close friend of Trump and one of the president's most ardent media offenders, said that Trump was right to home in on questions about the Democratic National Committee's handling of a 2016 cyber attack and the since-closed investigation into Hillary Clinton's use of a private email server. You were very strong at the end of the press conference, Hannity. Oh, that's Hannity saying. Hannity said in his first interview following the press conference, you said, where are the servers? What about what Peter Strzok says? Where are the 33,000 emails? During the press conference, which came just after Trump held a highly anticipated summit with Putin, the president challenged the U.S. intelligence community's conclusion that Russia sought to meddle in the 2016 presidential election. The comments amounted to an extraordinary break from Trump's own Justice Department, which indicted 12 Russian officials days earlier for allegedly hacking Democratic servers during the 2016 campaign. Trump also sought to focus attention on the DNC's handling of the FBI's initial warning in 2016 that its server had been compromised by hackers and why 33,000 emails. In fact, thousands of those emails were later recovered. The FBI later concluded that Clinton was extremely careless in her handling of classified information, but ultimately declined to charge her with a crime. You were very strong. You were so strong in that. That's the one where he was like, I don't know why it would be Russia.
Even children to satisfy his maniacal territorial ambitions. You may notice here below our U.S. flag is a Ukrainian flag pin.
Oh, yeah, you're wearing a pin now. Oh, okay. So we should take you seriously now because you're wearing a pin? That's great. What is it, your fucking flair? Is Fox the Cracker Barrel of media groups?
For people like that little girl, standing in solidarity with the innocent people of Ukraine, a sovereign country needlessly attacked by a hostile dictator. Now, the world needs, I would say, a new rule. Bill Maher likes to do new rules. I want this new rule. If you are a murdering tyrant who invades a sovereign country and you kill innocent men, women, and children, you forfeit your right to lead any country. Now, the Russian military will...
Yes, that'll be easy to carry out. Got that? Okay, everybody write that down. If you're a murdering tyrant that invades an innocent country and kills men, women, and children, so currently everyone on Earth that runs a country has to step down. Is that how we're doing it now? Except Biden, who left. Yeah, like he got us out of Afghanistan, so far he's good. No? Do you have to invade, or can you do like a missile strike from far away? Like if you just pepper them from boats, is that technically an invasion? I just want to get this rule straight. And how do we enforce this rule?
Hear about shows.
By the way, on the kind of countries that would have leaders that would invade countries and kill people? What?
They need to stop taking orders from this murderer. They need to take him out. The world needs to agree that Putin should no longer be running Russia. He's a murdering, authoritarian thug, killing innocent civilians
and his solution is he wants his own people to snuff him. Not that it's a possibility, which it probably is, but he's calling for it openly. I'm calling for the internal assassination of a world leader. Somebody needs to put his lights out. That's
civilized countries need to agree that he must be removed sooner than later and by...
But he's a genius. Why would you? I mean, if you've got somebody that savvy and that genius, Sean, and a genius who's savvy, he's savvy genius. He's like, he's savvy genius is almost stable genius. Not quite, but very close. And, I can't imagine how Trump would feel if one of his best buddies in the world, who's a genius and is very savvy, was killed.
Whatever means necessary. The people around...
Thank you, Hannity X.
Putin, I'll let you figure that out. Now, scenes like this are everywhere as Russia blasts schools and playgrounds, hospitals, large apartment buildings, cluster bombs are going off, rocket attacks,
So small apartment buildings are okay.
Stop shelling. These are not targeted attacks against Ukrainian military installations. No, it's Vladimir Putin attempting to punish Ukrainians for their resistance and break their will through a campaign of indiscriminate violence.
Yeah, hey, asshole. Do you get the feeling this asshole just showed up to the party and goes over to the band, picks up the set list, and starts telling us what songs have already been played? Yeah, we know. Everybody else has been saying this for days.
Ukraine's Minister of Health. As of Sunday, over 350 civilians
Like, Jesus Christ. Now he's just getting off on this stuff.
have been killed. That number is likely much higher, including many children. Over the weekend, here's what former President Donald Trump had to say at CPAC about Putin's hostile invasion. Take a look.
And when you have a weak president who is not respected by other nations, you have a very chaotic world. I have no doubt that President Putin made his decision to ruthlessly attack Ukraine only after watching the pathetic withdrawal from Afghanistan. The problem...
Yeah, he wouldn't have done it if we were still there spending $300 million a day.
...is not that Putin is smart, which of course he's smart, but the...
Yeah, he's smart. This is smart. I mean, that's why his armored column is bogged down. That's why they still don't have the skies. It's why unarmed Ukrainians are holding back entire lines of armored vehicles because he's smart. He's a smart guy, and
real problem.
It's why his missiles hit a Holocaust memorial today.
Is that our leaders are dumb. And they so far allowed him to get away with this travesty and assault on humanity. That's what.
By the way, we did this. All right, that's what it is. It's a travesty and an assault on
humanity. They so
humanity.
far allowed him to get away with this travesty and assault on humanity. That's what it is. This is an assault on humanity. So sad.
Yeah, you know, it says that in the teleprompter.
Putin is playing Biden like a drum.
You know, we played the tape last week of Donald Trump without a single note lecturing in the face of...
The fuck are you talking about? Without a single note? He said the same thing 5 times based on nothing. He was talking out of his ass about NATO not paying their bills. He didn't cite anything. And he was talking about 2 countries out of 29. Talking off the cuff. Get the fuck out of here. He was just reading from a teleprompter. And he had to repeat what he said.
Leader of NATO telling him how idiotic it was. We, America, paying the bulk of money for NATO to protect Western European.
Yeah, and that's why we cut off, you know, under Trump, why he cut off funding to Ukraine to show Europe we meant business. We're going to let Russia roll in and kill these people and move closer to you if you don't kick in some more dough, which they were already doing.
Countries, NATO allies, from being attacked by Putin, and yet they're making billion-dollar deals and are becoming more and more reliant on Vladimir Putin and Russia for their energy needs, and how stupid that whole policy is. Now, I would play what the current president, Joe Biden, said, but...
By the way, if you want to, like a response to this, just watch the John Bolton chunk we did earlier.
Guess what? He was nowhere to be found this weekend. While Putin was putting nuclear...
Yeah, he was working.
Weapons in play in this conflict. Joey was taking time off in Delaware doing what? I don't know. Of course, President...
He was working. He was talking to NATO leaders, and they were ratcheting up sanctions. They had 3 tiers of them that they did. They're adding a 4th. They were arranging for and fast-tracking bills to go to Congress so that they could raise the amount of money. They were negotiating with senators and congresspeople about getting that through quickly. He just sent them more money.
Trump is right. The Western world is being stupid. We need to understand this thug for who he is.
Yeah.
We need to understand.
Yeah, he's a scary dude and he's very dangerous. We should have just given him Ukraine, which was Trump's plan.
And that the only thing that works is strength. In fact, according to a Harvard-Harris poll, nearly 2/3 of Americans believe this attack would not have happened under Donald Trump. Why do you think that is?
By the way, I would be one of those 62%, but not because, you know, Putin respects Trump. It's because I don't think he would have had to attack.
Because, well, Putin probably feared Donald Trump. Putin knew that Trump, if he said it, he meant it, he'd do it.
Yeah, he said it, he meant it, he'd do it, which is why he was denying them the Javelin missiles, specifically delaying them and delaying the sale, which would delay the delivery into the next year, which had, you know, he not been found out, would have dragged even longer. And those are the very weapons that are turning the tide for the Ukrainians.
It invites chaos. It invites carnage. And by the way, Donald Trump didn't need, after 4 years of his presidency, He made America energy independent. He made America
We're still energy independent. That started under Obama.
net exporter of energy. That is a big factor in all of this. And without a doubt, Biden's disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Even while we were a net exporter of energy, that net exporter means we still import. These motherfuckers do not understand the net concept. Net zero, they think, means total zero. Net exporter, they think, means we don't take any in. It's 100% export. No.
He abandoned.
They were still taking in Russian oil during Trump's presidency.
Our fellow citizens. You don't think that helped embolden every two-bit dictator around the world? I said at the time it would. Unfortunately, I was right. I wish I was wrong. Take a look.
Americans held hostage, abandoned behind enemy.
Abandoned behind men. Yes. Yeah, you're wrong about that. Yeah, day 198. There aren't Americans abandoned behind.
Day 198.
Day 198.
I love that. Day 198.
Wednesday,
like
it'll be 200 days. Joe Biden's turned the page. He never mentions them. The media mob never mentions Americans left behind, green card holders that are legally allowed in this country left behind, our Afghan.
Oh, you mean the people that Trump didn't vet and haven't gone through the SIV program because he and Stephen Miller tried to make sure they couldn't.
Allies abandoned, stabbed in the back. We promised we'd never do this to them. Abandoned all by Joe Biden. If Joe were an honest, decent leader, he would address this in tomorrow's State of the Union.
If he would address. Wait a minute. Oh, I thought he was playing a clip.
Address. Well, we could talk about all the things that he should address that he won't address.
2 days ago.
He would announce a new wave of sanctions against Putin's oil and gas industry and vow to expand American energy production in order to meet the energy needs of not only our country, but the.
Oh, you mean, what he could do is he could open up 34% more oil and gas leases than Trump did during his first. Oh, he's already done that shit.
Energy needs of our allies in Europe,
tonight.
Our NATO allies. Joe's economic energy policies, they've now hurt every American family with a 40-year high in inflation. We pay more for every item we buy, more to fill our tanks. More.
Yeah, Joe, why did you use your time machine and go back to the 90s and establish a supply chain that could fall apart so much under a pandemic when you fully knew that Donald Trump was going to take over and crater the pandemic response team? How dare you?
Heat and cool our homes. Why? Because everything costs more to get it to the store. It costs more for a gallon of gasoline. I'm almost paying twice what we used to pay. He gave up America.
You're almost paying twice what you used to pay? Oh, you mean when no one was going anywhere. I see.
Energy independence. He compromised.
Hey, Sean, look at the bright side. You're paying less than you paid in 2008.
Our national security. He compromised the world security. Who would think, after inheriting energy independence, that Joe Biden literally imports 232 million barrels of oil from Russia and a billion.
Which is only about 60 million barrels from what Trump did. And why? Oh, and by the way, and why is it? Why is it up? Oh, because it was down artificially because no one was going anywhere.
Barrels of oil from Iran for the first time since 1991, or 600 million barrels of oil from OPEC. Joe Biden's beholden to the radical New Green Deal socialist. He won't admit that he.
Yes, and that's why he's buying oil and gas reserves from Saudi Arabia instead of drilling into our own ground.
Wrong. He won't reverse course, and he won't again become a net exporter of energy like the economy he inherited. Italy is even now considering reviving the country's coal plants to break their energy dependence on Russia.
Yeah, why doesn't America do that? Good, clean coal, right, Sean? That's what we need. Go back to good old clean coal.
So at a bare minimum, Joe should block the U.S. from importing all Russian oil. And by the way, every decent country in the world should put that main sanction on Vladimir Putin and Russia.
That's right. It's only responsible for 30 to 40% of the oil and gas that goes into Europe and into the rest of the world. And if you cut it off entirely, the price goes up everywhere all at once. But I'm sure you won't blame Biden for that come the midterms. I'm sure, Sean, that you're doing this out of the goodness of your heart because you really care about this. I'm sure you will run shows. You'll do entire episodes dedicated to oil and gas prices are higher this summer, not because of Joe Biden, but because we had to really show Russia we meant business.
That's the sanction that will mean the most to Putin. And that's the one sanction they have not put in place. Any sanction.
Huh. It's weird. It's almost like they're not trying to starve the Russian people. It's that they are trying to control the oligarchs' money running around. That's interesting. So you allow the oil and gas industry to come in because there's people that work on it, and that's how it gets into the economy. It's the vast majority of people who are in the in Russia, get their money somehow through the oil and gas, either a second tier job off of that. But the oligarchs themselves shuffle around and hide billions and all that kind of stuff. So instead of dealing with that stuff, what you should really do is cut off the spigot for the people, the working people of Russia, this is really their fault.
That doesn't
killed
hit
Putin a long time ago, right, Sean?
Russia's energy sector is pointless. Remember, Russia, is a gas station, as John McCain said, masquerading as a country. But guess what? None of this is going to happen. Apparently, the Biden administration has no problem.
And God damn it, when is Biden going to get off that helicopter and stay off of it? Doesn't he have some work to do? Jesus Christ. Every time I turn around, he's getting off a helicopter from somewhere. Has he been, did he go back to Delaware while you were showing that other clip?
Continuing killing the Keystone XL pipeline, but blocking.
Wait, I'm sorry, continue killing?
Has no problem continuing killing the Keystone XL pipeline. But
yes, continue to kill it. Killed obviously is a big word. So is he strangling it? It's a slow thing. Is Biden holding a pillow over Keystone's head? By the way, that's Canadian tar sands oil and it's shit.
Blocking Russian oil and gas imports is totally out of their control. Really? Take a look.
What is the stance of the U.S. in buying Russian gas at this point? At this point, are we ready to pledge not to buy any more Russian gas?
Well, as you know, it's really. Let me give you actually kind of an update on this because I think there's been a little confusion. One moment. So as it relates to Russian gas, U.S. government doesn't dictate where the U.S. market sells our own oil and gas products, nor where it acquires crude or refined products for domestic consumption.
Now, clearly, the climate alarmist.
Right. No. Asshole. Answer what she said. You played the clip. What she told you is companies buy it. Companies buy the oil and gas on the open market. They can buy it from us. They can buy it from Saudi Arabia. They can buy it from Russia. They can buy it from wherever the fuck. Some Venezuela, right? They can buy it from all these places. And what Sean Hannity asked for at the beginning of that clip is the federal government to be able to tell people what they can and cannot buy before official sanctions are put on something worldwide. So the federal government should have more control of corporations. Sean Hannity 2022. Also, COVID-19 deaths since inauguration. Right. So when did his plan come into fruition, Sean? Mid-March? Also, Biden has had a full year, and Trump did not. It started under Trump, therefore it was up and rolling about May, so it's only slightly higher in a whole year than the half a year that Trump had COVID running rampant through the country. $3.60 average price. Oh my God. It was $2.50 at inauguration, and nothing has happened since then. 7.5% year over year inflation. Since then, oh my gosh, year over year, it's terrible.
Green Deal,
since inauguration, since the inauguration, who is president? All right.
Socialist Party, they're fully in charge. They take top priority over the American people, over the world peace that we would have being energy.
world peace because of energy independence. That's why we need more solar, wind, and geothermal and micronuclear. Right, Sean? No.
Independent, a net exporter of energy, and under their leadership, America, the world is falling apart. Take a look at your screen. Since Joe Biden was inaugurated, COVID-19 deaths are over 500,000. Gas prices nearly.
Yeah, they. He's the one who actually got everybody inoculated. Schools came back. We hit the Omicron spike and have made it through it. And most of, if not all of the mask mandates are going to be removed if they haven't already in most states. And also, there's about 100,000 of those happened before their plan was able to take place because Trump basically rode the brakes while he was in office up till day one, up till the day he stopped being president. But that's fine. And then 360 because, why gas is more expensive? Because it was really cheap. And then everybody was actually driving again. And all these oil and gas companies who are very patriotic and care about people have been trying to make up their profits.
Doubled. And again, inflation at over a 40-year high. Add to that the border crisis, the crisis in Afghanistan, and now a full-blown war.
Yeah, look at our border. I mean, honestly, this Trump's wall looks like shit.
In Europe, breaking out right before our eyes, and it's clear that our State of the Union, well, guess what? The state of the world is not in a great place because America is not leading and America doesn't have a strong leader, and I bet Joe Biden's probably asleep at this hour and he probably doesn't know what day it is. But tomorrow, according to...
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Did I nod off when we started watching RT?
Reports, we are to expect Joe Biden to double down on the new Green Deal socialism platform as a magical cure-all for America's woes. That is the...
that's what you're expecting? That's okay. Well, we'll keep a track. That's good. Apparently, your ideas are crazy, and that's what's driving you nuts. Okay.
Dumbest policy you could ever embrace. It's no wonder Joe Biden, even ABC, Washington Post poll, has him at an all-time low at 37%, with an even lower 30% of independents approving of the job as president in the White
House. Terrible. Oh, my gosh. It's almost like he's got long game and he doesn't mind.
We're going to have a lot more on tomorrow's speech in a moment. All eyes.
You're going to have a lot more.